It's 2024, and the conversation around climate change has never been more urgent. We're constantly hearing about melting ice caps, rising sea levels, and extreme weather events, but there's a side to this crisis that often gets overlooked: the real, staggering cost of climate change. Beyond the environmental damage, what does this crisis mean for our economy, health, and everyday lives? What are the hidden impacts that no one seems to be talking about? Today, we're going to explore the untold story of climate change, one that goes far beyond polar bears and endangered forests, and digs deep into how it's reshaping our world in ways we often don't see. First, let's talk about the economic impact of climate change. According to a growing body of research, the cost of extreme weather events is skyrocketing, and 2024 is proving to be a record-breaking year for climate-related damage. Hurricanes, wildfires, floods, and droughts have caused billions of dollars in destruction worldwide. Take the US, for example. The number of billion-dollar disasters, events that cause $1 billion or more in damage, has more than doubled in the past decade, and the trend shows no signs of slowing down. In 2024, the cost of these disasters is not just a financial burden on governments and insurance companies. It's having a ripple effect on the global economy, disrupting supply chains, agriculture, and infrastructure. This means higher prices for basic goods, more expensive insurance premiums, and an overall increase in the cost of living. Beyond direct damages, consider the economic hit to agriculture. Rising temperatures and changing precipitation patterns are making farming more unpredictable. For example, crops like wheat, corn, and rice, staples that feed billions, are experiencing yield reductions due to severe droughts or unexpected flooding. This doesn't just lead to a direct loss for farmers, it also means higher food prices worldwide. And in poorer regions, where people spend a significant portion of their income on food, this leads to food insecurity, malnutrition, and even conflict. In 2024, these agricultural challenges are not just local issues, they are global crises affecting everything from the price of your morning coffee to international political stability. The health costs of climate change are also largely underestimated. As temperatures rise, so do the rates of heat-related illnesses, respiratory problems from worsening air quality, and the spread of vector-borne diseases like malaria and dengue fever. Climate change is also linked to an increase in allergens, leading to a spike in asthma and allergies, especially among children. In 2024, more and more people are finding that their health is directly impacted by the changing environment around them. And while we often hear about the environmental benefits of reducing carbon emissions, we seldom discuss the potential health benefits. Cleaner air alone could prevent thousands of premature deaths each year, not to mention reduce healthcare costs by billions of dollars. Another hidden cost is the loss of biodiversity and its effect on human livelihoods. In 2024, entire ecosystems are under threat. From coral reefs to rainforests, many species face extinction due to habitat loss, warming temperatures, and pollution. This isn't just a tragedy for nature lovers, it has real economic implications. Healthy ecosystems provide services like pollination for crops, fisheries for food, and forests that absorb carbon dioxide. When these systems break down, it's not just the wildlife that suffers, it's human communities as well. Fishermen lose their livelihoods when coral reefs die. Farmers struggle when pollinators vanish, and entire communities are at risk when protective mangrove forests are destroyed. And then there's the social cost of climate change. Extreme weather events and environmental degradation are displacing millions of people around the world. By 2024, climate refugees, those forced to leave their homes due to climate-related factors like rising sea levels, desertification, or hurricanes, are a growing demographic. This migration is putting pressure on urban areas, leading to overcrowded cities, strained resources, and social tensions. The crisis isn't limited to far-off islands or remote villages. It's happening right now in places like Miami, where sea level rise is already causing regular flooding, and in California, where wildfires have left thousands homeless. Climate change is no longer just an environmental issue, it's a social justice issue, impacting the poorest and most vulnerable communities the hardest. Another cost often overlooked is the mental health impact of climate change. Known as eco-anxiety, many people, particularly young people, are feeling increasingly anxious and helpless about the future of the planet. With constant news of extreme weather events, habitat destruction, and political inaction, it's no surprise that climate change is taking a toll on our mental well-being. In some regions, the trauma of losing homes to fires, floods, or hurricanes leads to long-term psychological distress. And it's not just those directly affected by climate events. The global awareness of climate change is causing stress and anxiety about what the future holds for all of us. The cost to businesses and industries is another aspect that doesn't get enough attention. Many companies are now recognizing that climate change poses serious risks to their operations and profitability. From disrupted supply chains to the scarcity of raw materials, climate change is forcing businesses to adapt. And these changes come with a price tag. For instance, tourism industries that rely on natural beauty, like coral reefs or ski resorts, are suffering as their environments deteriorate. Real estate markets in coastal areas are also feeling the heat as properties become harder to insure or sell due to the risk of flooding and sea level rise. In 2024, businesses that fail to adapt to the realities of climate change are finding themselves left behind, facing financial losses and reputational damage. Lastly, there's the political cost of climate change. Governments around the world are struggling to balance economic growth with environmental sustainability, and this tension is leading to increased political instability. In many countries, citizens are demanding more aggressive action to combat climate change, leading to protests, policy debates, and even shifts in political power. In 2024, climate change is a central issue in international relations, with countries arguing over who should bear the costs of mitigation and adaptation. It's a complex web of responsibility and action, with developed nations facing pressure to do more, while developing nations seek financial support to deal with the consequences of a problem they didn't largely cause. These political tensions are not just about environmental policy, they're about the future of the global economy and society as a whole. So what can be done? Addressing the real cost of climate change requires a multifaceted approach, from investing in renewable energy and sustainable agriculture to developing new technologies that can capture carbon and reduce emissions. Governments need to commit to ambitious climate goals, but businesses and individuals also have a role to play. In 2024, the pressure is on to make changes that will not only slow down climate change, but also reduce its impact on our economy, health, and global security. In conclusion, climate change is far more than an environmental problem. It's an economic burden, a health crisis, a threat to biodiversity, a social justice issue, and a source of political tension. The real cost of climate change in 2024 is measured not just in dollars, but in the fundamental ways it is reshaping our world. As we move forward, it's critical to recognize these hidden costs and act accordingly for the sake of our planet and our future. Thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, please hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments below. What do you think is the most pressing cost of climate change that's often overlooked? Let's keep the conversation going, and remember, every action counts when it comes to our planet's future. See you in the next video.